Yo, 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 you know it is. It's James Boogie, I'm back. You see, I'm repping, I'm saying the throwback, J Hard. And what I want to talk about is the peculiar case of James Harden. So, of course, he's one of those polarizing figures where either you love him or you hate him or you have an opinion of him, however it goes. But what the conversation turns into me uh, a lot is like, okay, what can you do? What can you not do? What is your position? How valuable are you to a team? And it's beyond. It's understood to all players, everybody involved, including Harden, including the Sixers, that he's a valuable piece of their team. He's one of the top 20, maybe 10 players in the league, depending on who you ask, depending on how you feel, right? Uh, and if before you scoff at that, me saying he's top 10, I mean, where do you put the best rebounder in the league? Where do you put the best scorer in the league? Where do you put the best assister in the league? So if you're the top in the league in these statistical categories, right, you have an argument to say I'm one of the best 10 players. Nobody in the entire league can rebound, score, assist, block shots at my level, so I have to be in the top 10. It's a fair argument, I think. But anyway, so for me, it turns into player empowerment, right? Because people say, or the conversation turns into, I forced my way out of here, I forced my way out of there, which is 100% true. But why can't I force my way out of a situation that I don't feel comfortable for me, right? People, people, or the conversation is 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 um is influenced or pushed this way. But if you look at it in actuality and in reality, how do people really react in real life? Like, how many people get into a relationship, don't like it, and move on? And how many times do they move on before they get the right one? How do they move on? Do they always move on in the most, palatable, respectful, likable manner? Ultimately, we're always looking to put ourselves in the best position we can. So, you know, leaving Houston, and I don't want to sound like an apologist for James Harden, but leaving Houston, I have a new coach. I have a subpar roster. Uh, it's not a place for me. I've showed you what I can do with a subpar roster already. I showed you that we don't have enough to beat a roster like Golden State. So, and that was their main nemesis through his runs. He lost to superior teams, so he decided he wanted to move on. We said the same thing in Brooklyn. When Brooklyn gets to Brooklyn, Kyrie is out for his reasons. KD gets hurt. Where am I? I'm in the same position I was. I have subpar players or players who are not to the caliber of the players I have to go against. Right? No one. You can't fault him for wanting to leave Brooklyn, which was really an afterthought anyway. Now I get to Philly. Now I have pieces. For whatever reason, the pieces don't work. A lot of the conversation we have about these players is based on assumption of how we feel looking on the inside out, outside in. And I don't want to go too deep into the conversation because I don't want to sound like I'm a James Harden apologist, but Embiid is telling of what's going on inside of Philadelphia. Embiid is on tape saying that I love Doc Rivers. Embiid is also known behind the scenes the whole time to be saying, get rid of this guy, get rid of this guy, get rid of this guy, right? For Embiid to be saying that and for Harden to be playing through this, you don't think he has PSD from seeing the turmoil? Or you don't think he's like, man, I went through this in Brooklyn. I ain't going through this again, right? You don't think that him, or is it not an idea to say that, man, this guy has gone through some changes in his career that he couldn't control. I fully believe he wanted to stay in OKC, and they chose to sign uh, Ibaka instead of him. So now, ever since that point, he's been a person that's like, I'm gonna control my destiny. right? We empower other players to do it and ostracize others for doing the same thing.